everyone, I'm Nicolette Norton, and thanks for tuning in to this episode of The District, the show that spotlights all the great things happening in the Hamilton schools. No matter where you turn these days, it seems like some new technology is right in front of us, and is becoming a part of the fabric of our lives. So, on today's episode, we're going to take a look at the technology advancements that are taking place right here in our schools.
In the beginning, prior to us becoming a choice school, the problem with technology was it always fell beneath the day-to-day needs of an operation of a school, behind busing, teachers, books. So technology was the last thing that was funded. The school was always the place the kid went to get the latest technology, and somewhere along the line, in the late 80s or 90s, due to funding cuts, that kind of switched. And so the kids started having more technology at home than they did here. And that became a burden for the teacher to keep the kids excited, motivated when they're going home and getting into all kinds of media, but when they come here, they're looking at a stagnant book, a stagnant image, or a library that just didn't get them excited.
We only had our regular computers, and I think there was 4 computers, and we used that TVator thing that went hooked into our actual computer, and any kind of videos or whatever would go right up on the TV. And that would be the only thing that we would have as far as technology.
One of the first things we did is at the ECEC, we installed BrightLinks, which were interactive boards where now the kids get up out of their seats using a pen, are able to draw on a board. What's nice about the BrightLinks is it doesn't take over the space of the actual whiteboard that the teacher uses. It actually shines on it. When it's off, it's back to a whiteboard. When it's not, it's interactive. They have speakers in there, so no longer do we have little chintzy speakers on the desktop making music. Now they hear stereo coming out of there, so it's a highly interactive thing.
It benefits my class a lot because I work with the special ed students, so it's a lot of hands-on learning. Everything is out in the open so that all the kids can see it at the same time. There's a lot of interaction with the kids. It's multi-sensory, so they get to use all their different kinds of skills that way. And it gets them more involved because they become more excited about it. It's more fun to them.
Just call it out. How many months in a year? 12. Okay, what is the first month of the year, Alex? Tell me. January. Put it in order. Oh, you got to click outside. Remember when it's outside? Good.
They like a lot of the software programs that we actually bought through a grant for kindergarten, which is the rhyming and numbers and all the basic skills that way. Also, we have the Easy Teach that we're able to go in and make lessons from a teacher standpoint that allows them to be working on skills but not really realize, because it's fun for them, that they're working on specific skills that they need.
Joshua, what's after March? April. Oh, okay. April. Good. The vampire's not getting it real good. There you go.
It makes it more fun. It's more creative, I think. I mean, I enjoy it. You're not standing up at a blackboard writing stuff or doing whatever. You're actually getting the kids up out of their chair and doing something, and they enjoy it. They want to do it. As soon as that thing goes on in the morning, that's right away. That's what they want to do. And I think too, with us being able to use that Easy Teach and actually make lessons, you can teach specifically the skills that you need to teach, not just overall that lessons that are made up.
Future in the ECEC, again, now that we have the teacher with the great interactive, media-enriched curriculum in front of them, now we're trying to work on the centers. Instead of just having just computers, we're sort of trying to learn typing. And I think that's something that's really amazing, is that we've certainly raised the bar from these little kids. When you and I went to school, we were just trying to know the alphabet, our numbers from 1 to 10. Now these kids, as you know, are just doing phenomenal stuff. They're coming out of first grade, being able to do word recognition, to be able to use a computer, they know how to use a mouse, they know how to use an iPad. So we're trying to enhance that. So the next step will be making the centers more interactive, bringing iPads rather than stagnant books that they can turn the page, read at their own pace, they can hear it in foreign languages. So we're trying to make more enhanced centers at each of the levels as we go.
Technology has changed dramatically throughout the last 5 or 10 years. Before we had BrightLinks, we had chalkboards, and we had overhead projectors, and the old film strip machine. But since children now are familiar with more interactive devices from their homes, the BrightLink is a great way to bring the technology into the classroom and have them really connect with lessons that the teachers are teaching.
Okay, excellent. Let's take a look at mine up here. A situation in which it might be good to be susceptible. Forgot to underline that word. Before the BrightLinks, I had the computer screen hooked up to the TV. And it was nice to have. I use it for all the same things I use the BrightLinks for now, but it wasn't as interactive as the BrightLinks is. You know, I'm up in the front of the classroom and I'm trying to teach, but the kids are looking at what's up on the TV, getting sort of distracted by that. So it was nice to have that technology, even just to have that, but like I said, it wasn't as interactive as the BrightLinks is now.
We chose the BrightLinks because they are very much interactive. They engage all the learning styles, the visual, their auditory, they're very kinesthetic. We have a BrightLink in every classroom at the elementary school, which is a great thing to have, and we're very fortunate to have that.
BrightLinks is great for the elementary kids because it's very easy to use. It's very user-friendly, and it's, I think, in my opinion, better than if I were to have a smart board because it's not taking up my whole board. So I turn it on, I turn on the pens. The kids can go up and edit my writing that I type on the computer. They go up and they underline something, or they replace a word, or they add in a period or a comma. The kids, they really react great to the projector on the board. They get really excited. Do you see anything that you could change in here? Anything that you could make better? Anything, any misspellings, capitalization, punctuation? Julio? They get to be my teacher, hands fly up if I have them offering to come up to the board and do something. They're right up in the class, they're right there with me, all eyes are on the board. It's been great for student excitement and involvement. It's just been wonderful.
I see an excitement with kids learning that I haven't seen in the past. They get excited when the teachers let them know that this lesson is going to involve using the BrightLink, which is more now the majority than not. Really, it has changed the way instruction is being implemented at the elementary school.
If you really spend time researching it, studying it, playing around with it, you can really use it in every single subject all throughout the day, and when you tie in the excitement and the interaction and the involvement, it just makes for a wonderful classroom experience.
Some classrooms are equipped with student response systems, which are little handheld devices for students, like little clickers. And the teachers can have a program up on the BrightLink with questions and multiple choice answers. And each child can lock in their answer and then have immediate feedback of whether they got it right or wrong. And also that helps the teacher in planning for comprehension. Did they understand it? Didn't they understand it? What didn't they understand? What do I have to go over and reteach? So it really is driving instruction, which is what we want to do.
And that last one, number 5, right? Identify the pronoun. Okay, the pronoun. We had, let's see, 9 people not get that right, and we just completed that unit on pronouns.
We want to get kids excited about learning. We want to establish a lifelong love for learning, and here's the foundation. I mean, it all starts from here, and I truly believe that if we can ignite that passion in students at this age, it will continue on up through later years. And what I've seen is the best way to do that is to utilize the technology to help us connect to children at all levels and meet their instructional needs where they are, and then encourage academic growth.
This school year, a year ago, was designated as a choice school for technology. So one of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to significantly upgrade the technology that has been lagging behind in the building.
Well, the one thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to get the iPads and we wanted to get computers and technology into the students' hands as fast as possible. And we wanted to do it as widespread as possible as well.
The science department were using the one iPad cart that we had in the library the most. So the science department was committed to the iPad technology. So what we did was in our choice money, we put into place a iPad cart of 30 iPads in every science class in the building, grades 6 through 8.
Our technology has changed greatly just with the implementation of iPads. Prior to this, we were looking at 3 or 4 computer labs with about 30 desktops in there. We did add an iMac lab, which was a good addition to our school. But outside of that, there were some classrooms with a computer or 2 or 3 that the students could get to, but they were most certainly underutilized because there wasn't enough to do a station or to even rotate kids through to be able to use. Now, teachers can easily get iPad carts, roll them down to their classrooms, and they have 30 iPads like that for the kids to be able to use.
On your iPad, you're going to the Scan app. It looks like a barcode scanner. That's the app you have to click on. It looks like these scanner things.
Before we had the iPads, we would have to take the whole class to the library, and that was a challenge sometimes because other teachers would have signed up. You'd have to plan for it ahead of time. Also, there's usually other classes in the library part, so it was kind of hard to teach a lesson there. So now we can teach the lesson, and with the iPad, have the technology right at their fingertips.
They're new. Keeps the kids interested. Even if we're doing something similar to a worksheet, it's a different approach. So they're better with technology than we are.
Right now we have 90 in the building that are used every single day. They're used by the teachers in the classrooms. They roll them down to their classrooms. They use them in the library. The kids during their study hall period, they're always in there using them, checking them out, and working on researching and doing the things that they need to do. So right now we have 90.
The iPads are more effective in the classroom. We study the Constitution, whereas before they would do a Constitution search just using the textbook and the information that's in the textbook. But now with the iPad, we have iPad apps that give them the Constitution. And so even though, once again, it's the same information, it's just presented in a different way, and then it makes the kids want to do these things. A couple weeks ago, I found a great American history game that I had the kids playing, and then I was in the library maybe about a week ago, and I had a student ask me, and she said, "Was this the one that we were playing?" And I said, "Yeah, it was." And she said, "Oh, great." And then she started to play it just on her own time. So it made it where they can now use it, and even though it's learning, they don't really consider it learning as much.
Middle school kids are very enthusiastic, as we all know, and they have grown up with the technology from the time they were very young. So to get technology into their hands is important because it makes them more excited about the learning that takes place in the classroom, and it absolutely links the teachers and makes a natural connection to the learners in the classroom as well.
Well, I feel like we're really just scratching the surface of what the iPad can do as far as teaching a lesson with it. Right now, even if it's just a worksheet on the iPads, the kids are so excited to use it, and it keeps their attention, even if it is just a worksheet that they're using through the iPad.
The future calls for the language arts department and the math department and the social studies department getting their share of the technology in their classes, and what that's going to be is going to be determined by each department individually. Some of them will want notebooks, some of them would want computers with computer stations in them, other people want, they would like to have newer smartboard technology, and some of them want the iPad technology. So we're kind of giving them a choice by department to figure out what their needs are and how it best the technology applies to the teachers in the room.
Ultimately, are we going to be able to move to less textbooks or textbooks that are web-based, or maybe is that in the next year or two? I'm not sure, but it's most certainly something that we're looking to get towards.
One of the things I'm extremely proud of is the fact that we are constantly trying to improve our educational programs at Hamilton High School, and integrating technology across the curriculum has been at the forefront. Technology touches almost every aspect of our lives, homes, and community. So we have to make sure that our students have the opportunity to use cutting-edge technology while they're at school. And I'm proud to report that the students of our high school are technologically literate, equipped with the skills needed to succeed in a highly technological world when they graduate.
We've come a long way over the past few years here at the high school. As a choice school, we had the funds to really upgrade the technology. One major addition this year was getting the classrooms' iPads ready. We installed 60-inch flat screens, and we put the iPads in the hands of every teacher in the building for instruction.
How about we try a different lobe, one that we can talk about. We'll talk about the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex.
The iPad itself allows for a much more hands-on approach in regards to both teacher and student. It makes lecturing and displaying objects a lot more fluid and a much more visual, hands-on experience. And as well as it allows for individuals from the students to do virtual reality dissections while cutting down on cost of actual having real sheep brains to be dissected. We can do the exact same thing with a hands-on tool that students love to touch. It almost becomes more of a game-like to them. They're interested, they're enthused, and it certainly appeals to the whole visual learner on a whole new level. The iPad, especially when we go about learning about the brain and how it works and the different portions thereof, it's one thing to read about it in a textbook and they show you a picture in a textbook, but it's a whole different thing to have the visual clue in front of you, a three-dimensional human brain in which we can manipulate, we can dissect, we can illuminate certain portions. It makes it a lot easier for the student to both grasp, both spatially as well as charismatically, what each of the individual portions of the brain do.
This year we put iPads in the hands of every single teacher. The reason for that was to add a certain comfort level to using this technology in the classroom. Next year we will purchase 20 iPad carts of 30 iPads for the classroom. However, if teachers would like to get their hands on technology now, the Media Center is the place to be.
When I started as a media specialist here 10 years ago, we had very limited technology. We had 30 computers, and they weren't actually computers. They were dummy terminals that connected to old, unreliable servers that often crashed and had to be reset 2 or 3 times a day. They were notoriously slow. Students would sometimes take 10 minutes just to get logged in when they would come in with their classes. And we only had a limited number, so only one class at a time could come in. Well, now we have 2 computer wings with 24 computers each and 12 on each of the 2 sides, so we have a total of 74 computers. We can easily accommodate 2 classes plus study hall and lunch students, and teachers are using the technology for a variety of reasons. Teachers do research utilizing the books and the resources we have, like the databases. We also have 2 61-inch plasma TVs that are very helpful in doing demonstrations. The 21st century is very technological, and they've grown up with technology, and having the opportunity to do interesting things on the computers with their different classes, like VoiceThread with the Italian classes, for example, creating their own websites in their history classes for projects rather than doing PowerPoints. They respond very well to this opportunity.
But the Media Center is the only place where students are getting one-on-one time with the computer. We also have 3 brand new Mac Labs that the kids really love. The Mac Labs are used for a variety of courses. In graphic design, students learn Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and everything about digital art. In our video production classes, students are learning how to shoot and edit their own films, along with using our TV studio to do news broadcasts. They also have the Mac Labs in music theory, where students learn how to write and score their own music.
I feel great about the technology in the schools. No matter what school building you go into, you can't help but get excited. You see kids learning from Brightlinks to iPads. Everywhere you turn, there's new technology. As far as the future holds, it's limitless on what we can do at the Hamilton Public School District, and I can't wait to see what comes down the pike.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The District, where you get to see just what makes the Hamilton School District one of the best in the state. For everyone here at Hamilton Schools, I'm Nicolette Norton. Have a great day.